Hey, what's up, Gemini? This is your astrological monthly forecast for November 2016. Thank you so much for tuning in. Briefly, before we get started, I just wanted to remind you guys that this is for anyone born under the sun, moon, or rising sign in the sign of Gemini. But don't forget that you're more than one sign. I know you're all about Team Gemini, we're the best, and all that good stuff. But guess what? You have a moon sign and a rising sign that may be different from Gemini. If you're curious about that, which you guys are usually pretty curious about stuff, there's a website down below that I posted to where you can go and check out your full birth chart, see what else is, in your chart, in your energy, in your makeup to make you a unique individual. So once you find that out, if you do have your birth time, you can find out your rising sign. If you don't, you can still know your moon sign at least, and you can check out your monthly forecast for your rising and your moon signs as well. And if you would like a personalized reading to where I can take a look at any situation in life that you need some more light shed upon, then go ahead and go to my website, which is indigomoon.astrology.com, and I will be so happy to get a reading done for you. All right, now on to your general November forecast. Okay, Gemini, so doing something a little different this month, and I know you guys like changes and different stuff. So I have a board that I bought that's a chart. It's an astrology chart, and is to physically show you guys using little symbols of the planets what the energy is like for you guys this month, what the transits are like. So it's transparent, so it may be a little bit difficult to see, so forgive me if it is, but I'm going to try to come up with more ways to make it a little more clear. But yeah, let's check it out and see what the energy is like for Gemini this month. All right, my Gemini peeps, I'm going to show you guys what the transits are for you guys this month using my new little board. I'm going to try to figure out a way where it's a lot more easier to see in the future, but just working with what I've got for right now. So hopefully you guys can see and understand everything on here. But see, this is Gemini. So first house, that means that's you and your house. And then the houses go all the way around the board. Here's the little symbols for the planets and, Chiron, which is an asteroid. So what's going on for you guys this month? Well, let's start out with the sun. Where's the sun hanging out? Well, for the most part, it's in the sign of Scorpio. And for you guys, this is your sixth house. The sixth house is health and daily routine and your work duties that you do. It's your habits that you have and things like that. So the sun in Scorpio, sun's been there since the end of October. We're still continuing on with that energy towards highlighting this area for you. So work. A lot of new beginnings could have been happening for you guys in the work environment, especially because we started out November with a new moon actually happening a couple days before on October 30th. So it could have initiated a brand new beginning for some of my Geminis when it comes to your work. So maybe you guys have started a new job. And if you have not, then maybe some of you guys are still looking, and this is a really good time to start looking for a job, because wherever the sun is at, that's where you can really shine out there the most, and you'll really be radiating the energy of this area for you. So for you guys, this is for work. Your work environment. So, you can be shining out there to potential employers like, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to work, like the Rihanna song, work, you better work like RuPaul. So this is you guys right now, Gemini. You're focused highly on working. So if you guys already have a job, you can be spending a lot more time in the workplace, being a workaholic, putting in overtime, just really feeling like, because the sixth house, it is a house of energy of like just being very dutiful, okay? Just doing your duty, just going along, and just doing things because you just have to be serving some sort of purpose and doing something meaningful. So, and it's the house of service. So you can't just be really working hard and feeling sometimes like you're a slave to your job. Be careful of that, and to, be putting so much into your job that you're not taking care of yourself, for example, or of your family or your own needs, but that's the sun here in Scorpio in the sixth house. But also this is daily routine. So you guys and it's health. So a lot of you Geminis can really be focused on health and fitness right now. I have a friend who's a Gemini rising, and all of her Instagram pictures right now are all about working out and fitness and look how far I ran today, you know. So this is something that you guys can be focused on, which can be a very positive thing for you, making some great changes when it comes to health and your work environment. On the 9th of the month, we have Mars, the planet of drive and action and initiative. He is moving into Aquarius, which for you guys is your 9th house. So get in there, buddy. Okay. So Mars in the 9th. The 9th house is a house of like having a higher faith in things, having a faith in a higher power. It's also very adventurous. It's a very adventurous energy. You know, it's the energy of the traveler. So you guys can start feeling a little bit, you guys are already, Gemini, you guys are already very restless, okay? So when Mars goes into your 9th house, you can feel a lot more restless, but it's not a negative thing. It's like, I really want to get out there and explore the world a little more. I really have a need and a craving for some adventure in my life right now. So a lot of you guys can decide to travel right now, and it can be some random travel. Gemini, you guys do enjoy a bit of randomness in your life because you guys like change, you know, to happen like that. And that brings you a lot of excitement. So this could be craving excitement, physically going after excitement. And like I said, this can mean, you know, by means of travel. Long distance travel is associated with the 9th house. But hey, for some of you Geminis, long distance can just mean like another city within your state, or, you know, just the next state over. It doesn't have to be another country. So just traveling, getting out and doing adventurous stuff. In a lot of places in the world right now, the weather is great for hiking and camping. So that is the energy of the 9th house. When Mars goes there, your action and your drive is going to be more aimed at stuff like that. So you can really enjoy some adventurous stuff like that at this time. So on the 12th, we have Mercury, your ruling planet of communication and the mind and the thinking and the hands. This little mischievous guy right here, he's moving into Sagittarius. For you guys, that's your opposite sign, which is your 7th house, as we call it. So wherever Mercury moves, this is where your mind is most focused. And for you guys, it's on relationships. So Mercury can be requiring you to work on your relationships a little bit more, especially the communication part. Okay, so you may be actually more willing to be more, you know, communicative within your relationship, or just seeing a lot of things in your relationship that can be worked on and communicating about it, which I'll get to more in a second. But definitely communication with other people. This can also mean business partnerships. Maybe you're communicating more ideas within a business partnership, or this could be a time where you're initiating one and negotiating a lot of stuff with people, because the 7th house is a house of negotiating with others. Now, Mercury will come in a conjunction, as we call it, with Saturn. It's also been hanging out in your 7th house of relationships since the fall of last year, so for about a year now. Saturn is a planet of hard work and mastery. So for my Gemini people, this past year could have been all about you guys mastering the art of relationships. And just generally speaking about the energy of Gemini, it's not really like one-to-one relationship focused by nature. It's more about communicating with anybody that you can, talking to different people, having different experiences with different people, being curious about others, and just kind of learning about this person, that person, by whatever means that you are open to learning from other people by. That can mean having some sort of relationship with them. Saturn has been calling you guys the last year to kind of focus maybe on one area and to work really hard there, okay? Which can be difficult for a lot of my Gemini people. Some of you guys have other energies in your chart, like maybe the energies of the sign before you, Taurus, the sign after you, have Cancer. It makes you a Gemini that may crave variety in some sort of way, but makes you kind of able to stick to one person. So maybe this Saturn transit hasn't been as difficult for you as some of my other Geminis that are a little more bouncy and have a lot more planets focused in Gemini, you know, to where you like to bounce around and have your freedom with other people, okay? So anyway, that's Saturn hanging out here. When Mercury comes in contact with Saturn, Saturn is like, hey, this is what we've had to do, work very hard, and Mercury is your thinking, so it's kind of like, hey, Saturn, like, what do we got to do? Like, tell me what to do to work harder on this relationship, you know, this business partnership or romantic relationship. What do I got to do, you know, to make things better, or what do I got to communicate to my partner? what is my partner communicating to me about working on this relationship? So these two can be working together. On a negative side, Mercury and Saturn coming together. Saturn can be kind of like a downer, because he's like, no, you can't bounce around and have fun. You got to work, 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 work. So Mercury is like your thinking, and your thinking can be seeing the relationship in that way to where, oh my God, it's such hard work and drudgery. Oh, and it's affecting your mind and making your mind slow down for once and really think about the hard work that needs to be done. So that could be negative to some, but for some it could be positive to really, really ground the relationship more and really set some more boundaries and, really work on it to master the art of relationship as Saturn wants you to do. So on the 26th, Mercury will come into a trine aspect. Here's a trine, which is very favorable and positive with Aries in your 11th house. So Mercury trine Aries, Mercury trine Uranus, I'm sorry. Mercury's your thoughts. Uranus is like flashes of things, okay? It's crazy ideas. It's genius energy. It's like things just, like I said, coming to you in a flash, okay? So you can all of a sudden have like a flash of insight, into your relationship that you're in. Or if you're not in an established relationship, this can maybe, because this is the 11th house of friendships and groups, which is where Uranus is hanging out in Aries. So you can all of a sudden start seeing a friend, in a light of you want to establish a relationship with them that's more than just a friendship, So that's something that can happen to you guys. This can also mean you start craving a little bit more excitement within the relationship that you have, and you talk about it with your partner. Saturn here can kind of calm down the craziness that this aspect can a lot of times bring about. Just like crazy random ideas and acting them out. Saturn makes you stop and really think, no, do I really want to do this? Like, do I really want to establish this relationship with this friend? This is a great idea right now, but is it really going to work? It's a long-term solid thing. That's what Saturn is going to do. So this is around the 26th that those aspects happen for you. So let's talk about Venus. Venus has been in the sign of Sagittarius here in your 7th house ever since the end of October. Okay, actually, let's put her here. So Venus, love, relationships, enjoyment. So you could have been really, really enjoying a lot of attention from other people, which Venus in the 7th can bring. That can mean just hanging out with friends, girlfriends, because Venus represents female. So guy or girl, hanging out with more girlfriends, being very chatty, just going out to coffee, to lunch, dinner with people, just really hanging out and talking to people, enjoying yourself in that kind of way. Venus in the 7th could have brought you a new relationship. It could have just kind of, sweeten things up in the area of dealing with other people, negotiating stuff. But it could have definitely brought about a relationship for some of my Gemini people. Now, on the 12th, Venus moves into Capricorn, which is your 8th house. Ooh, the 8th house of serious, deep soul bonding with other people. So the 8th house, on another level, it's all about joint finances and money that you get from other sources rather than just from work, hard work, and, working at a job or whatever. So Venus here, it can bring you maybe some type of inheritance or some sort of money that you get from another source or from another person. That just made me think of like sugar daddies and stuff, like, ooh, buy me this, buy me that. And, because you're talking to somebody here. Mercury is like, hey, we're talking to somebody. And it's like, oh, you bought me some stuff? Oh, you're giving me money? Oh. That doesn't apply to all Geminis, but that just kind of came to my mind right now. But Venus in the 8th is a time where maybe you are talking to somebody, Mercury and Sag, and now you want to really get to know them. Really get to know them on an intimate level, not just casual talking on the surface level, but it's like, who are you really? Who are we really as a couple? Who are we underneath the surface? Who are we like in our deep subconscious minds? You may become interested and intrigued by the mysteries behind another person. Ooh. On a negative side though, Venus in the 8th house can be a little crazy, like bring out that jealous side of you. So maybe you might be talking to somebody, and Geminis, you guys generally speaking about you're not known to be the jealous type. You can move along very quickly. Your minds move too fast to be playing all that jealousy crap and dwelling on stuff. You know what I mean? But Venus in the eighth, this transit can kind of potentially bring about some of those feelings in a relationship. Not all Geminis will experience this, but some might. But this can be a time to really bond with another person, have a lot of fun with them as far as bonding intimately. Whatever that means for you, use your imagination, Gemini. Now, that type of energy of jealousy and extreme, like, wanting to be intimate with someone can really come about around the 25th when Venus comes into a conjunction with Pluto. Pluto is, he's the deep soul diver. He rules the sign of Scorpio, and that energy is very similar to this 8th house, okay? They're all connected. So this can really bring out, like I said, some jealousy in you, or maybe you may attract that from another partner. So I would say, Geminis, be very careful if you're single and you are wanting to just talk to people casually, Mercury in the 7th, and then you're like really getting to know someone, and you can attract this yourself, some jealousy to where someone's like really clingy and maybe a little bit stalkerish towards you, and you're like, excuse me, like, when did I ever say that we were together, like, seriously, like that? When did I ever say that? So around the 25th, that energy can come about, especially because the sun is going to move into on the 21st, going to move into Sag, which is your 7th house. So here's even more highlighting relationship energy for you. So maybe beginning and establishing a relationship or really getting to know someone. But then Venus in the 8th, especially conjunct Pluto, Geminis, you guys can really, really, like I said, attract some of that intense energy from another person, whether good or bad, whether you want it or not. It's really going to be something that's happening very strongly for you guys. So, this can be some fun times for some of you guys. Some of you guys, watch out and don't get yourselves in trouble and attract some stalkerish energy. All right, so now let's talk about these lunar events. First, we're going to talk about the full moon. The full moon is happening in the sign of Taurus. And for you guys, that means the sun and moon are in opposite signs. That means the sun is in Scorpio in your 6th house. And then the moon is in Taurus, which is in your 12th house. Okay. So this is a time when things are brought to a final decision. For a lot of my Geminis, and this happens on the 14th, by the way, a lot of my Geminis, the full moon can bring about a final decision that has to do with work. Okay. Work or a daily routine, or the 6th house deals a lot with reality, the reality of everyday life, like seeing things for what they really are, and they're not always so pretty. The 12th house is a house of illusion. It's like fantasy. It's seeing things through like rose-colored glasses, as they say, projecting like your life to be like in this fantasy image of what you ideally would want it to be, and you daydream about. But reality is that's not always what it is, So the full moon can bring things to a final decision or to a close when it comes to illusions that you have about your own life. So seeing life for what it really is. The 12th house, it also deals with your dreams, okay? Like dreams that you have when you're asleep. So I would say be mindful of the fact that the full moon can bring about some messages to you within your dreams. So really pay attention to your dreams around that time. The 6th house, where the sun is at during this full moon, deals with like taking care of your body. And then the 12th house, where the moon is at, deals with taking care of your spirit, your subconscious, your inner self. Okay. So it's like your body and your inner self. There's like a breaking point here to maybe you're working so hard and so much, especially when other planets were hanging out here during Scorpio season, more like say in October. Maybe you've been working so much that you haven't really been taking care of your body that well, or taking care of your spirit. I mean, maybe you've been working out too, taking care of your body very well, but you haven't been resting, which is the 12th house. So maybe this is like a final decision that says, you know what, I think I need a little more rest. I need a break. I need to take some time out away from the world. And you've got energy hanging out in your 7th house of other people. Maybe you've been hanging out with other people so much, and it's like, you know what, I'm a Gemini, but even I need some time to retreat away from other people for a little bit, go under the radar, be a little incognito, and just take some time out for myself to relax. So this full moon can bring about a decision that has to do with relaxation, the subconscious mind, taking care of your spirit, and also breaking away from any illusions that you have. The new moon happens in the sign of Sagittarius on the 29th. This is when the sun and moon come together in the same sign, same degree, same house for you. And this is your 7th house of relationships. So new beginning here around the 29th within your relationships. And, around that time, we've got Mercury here. We still got Saturn hanging out here for another year or year and a half. So all of this together, big focus on relationships, new beginning. This could be a time where you decide to actually begin a new relationship on a serious level. We've got Venus hanging out here, getting intimate. Hey. And, you can decide, you know what? I've gotten to know you on a deep soul level. And Saturn is calling me to be serious for once in my life with relationships. So I think we can start something new. I think we can be committed right now. Or it can be the opposite. Maybe you decide not to be in a relationship with somebody. Maybe it's like, look, I've gotten to know you on a deep level. It was fun and all. I like chatting with you and stuff. But how about no to a serious relationship? Because I've discovered some things about you underneath the surface that I don't really like very much. So yeah, how about we just end this right now? So it's either a new beginning to where you start something or you end something with a relationship. This can mean a business partnership too, starting a new business partnership. So that can be a good thing for you guys. So brand new beginning with relationships with other people with the new moon on the 29th. All right, Gemini, so that was it for your November forecast. I really hope it was helpful and insightful for you guys. And don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see your monthly forecast from me every single month. And also, if you would like a personal reading, then I am here for you. You can go to my website, which is indigomoonastrology.com, and we can get something scheduled for you. All right, now take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in December. I can't believe 2016 is almost over. Can you? All right, I'll see you guys next month. Peace.